Welcome to, I guess, what I would say Season 2 of the Advent Calendar, where we made all the skin doors previously. All the 3x3s were just made. If you did not make them, and you just want to make the 4x4s, this is the right place to be. We're going to go in the same order as we did in the previous one, because, like, yeah. We're going to go from the bottom up. So we're going to start with the duck door, because, yeah, you can already see that this is going to be a very long day, because we have, yeah, you get it. There's a lot of minecarts and logic in armor stands. So to start, and this one will actually be in color. This is just gonna be a simple bottom top circuit kind of thing. But actually, never mind. This will be in color. So I also want to thank Evan Boyd or Red6D for showing me how to use this burnout thing, because I was going to fit a whole quad up here, but that's kind of irrelevant, because I could just use this burnout thing. And I don't know who made this. I think it was Nat Guy, but I'm not sure. And I also modified it from the previous, when I showcased it, to have this dropper here. I got rid of this minecart here. I also made this side faster, so now the pistons extend more in sync. Anyways, you're gonna need a massive area here. You need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A 3x12 area. And let's start building. So, you're gonna need 3 normal pistons in this area. This will act as your bottom. Now, your input is gonna be red. It's gonna go right either pretty much on one of these 4 bottom blocks here. I just prefer it to be here or here. So let's start with the bottom. We're gonna do the closing, so it's just gonna be orange, because closing should always be in orange unless you're weird. No, I'm just joking. So to power this one up the top here, let me grab. We have 2 note blocks. If you hear any noise in the background, don't mind that. It's just stuff. So this should do, I believe, your connection to the top. So this should actually not be orange. I will get to that. And to power everything else, we take a 4-tick repeater output. Now torches are actually useless, but I just decided to use them, because why not? And then we have to power this line to power the pistons at the highest point. So what we do is we do this. So this should do a full triple piston extender, as you can see here. Now there is an observer on top here. Now there's an observer here for some reason. I think it's just to make speed purposes or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. So the connection to the top, so this does your whole closing. So when I flip this lever, you can see it does a triple, and this basically extends. This is actually very important that this extends, because I just realized what it is. Because the top is a burnout up here, we need to block the burnout from extending. So yeah, because the only way we can actually do the closing on the top is to power this line, but to power with a certain signal strength, you might think certain signal strength and not power this. This does will update this burnout. So the way we prevent this from not breaking is we just block the bottom, and we have it perfectly timed so this burnout does not refire again. So in the bottom, and that just turns off. And then the top fires. So let's start with the top connection. So the top connection is going to be, I guess, in yellow. Well, I don't know any color scheme for this. So you're gonna have this. Then you're gonna have 2 pistons. These will actually control those, so these would just be back single pistons. So we go up like this. These are obviously sticky pistons with blocks on them. So we're just going to fill this in with blocks. So this will be 4 blocks. Like that. As you can see, it lines up the floor there. And then we can just fill this in. So we're gonna start doing the top closing. Top closing is also gonna be, so the top closing is going to be in orange as well. So to do this, we're gonna use a hopper that has to face towards the left, because it's part of a dropper loop, as you can see here. So that's why it has to face to the left. Now we're going to continue the way up using this. Now we're going to start with our first minecart placement. So before we do that, we have to build our quad. So let's start building the top quad. So we're going to have 4 pistons like this. There's going to be some minecart stuff in here afterwards. So we might as well actually do that first, but I don't want to do that right now. We should be doing that first, but now that's like that, and then we can continue. So we have a minecart limiter. Because this minecart is inside a cobweb, and it's sitting on top of a carpet, which is 1/16 of a block tall. So if you look in the F3 menu, you can see XYZ. You see minus 5,794. Then you see Y is 86.065. That's 1/16 of a block tall, meaning that when the minecarts cannot push other minecarts. So this acts as a limiter, so that we get limited output delay. And this has to be a wooden pressure plate, so it reaches all these dust. So yeah, let's do that. So we need a normal piston, if I can actually grab one. Now, so we need to position this minecart in the cobweb here in a way so that when we push this minecart up, it doesn't move it, because if you push it in the wrong direction, it's going to move it. So you're going to place a fence here. If it's not like this, you do it the other way, but I believe it's like this. So here's what you're going to do. So we should have actually made this higher. So the way we're going to get the, but if you did it like this, or you did make it higher, what you're going to do is you're going to extend this. Make sure this is a normal piston. Get a carpet ready. Now this is going to be a glass block, or just any block really. It should be orange really. I'm going to get a carpet. You're going to pull this up and then quickly place the carpet. I'm not going to bother though. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll this minecart in. And then if you're in survival mode, this might be really hard, so I suggest you place your cobweb here. If I can actually grab it. So what you could do is you could place another block here, and then place this here. And if you're in creative mode, you can just quickly do this. And now, this is your top closing. So if I push this up, I either did this the right way or the wrong way. I did it the wrong way. So you can see what we're trying to prevent. So we have to move it towards this way, because you saw the minecart move. So I'm just gonna remove this cobweb so I don't have to wait forever. But now, if I push this up, you will see that this acts as a limiter, because it gets hit by this minecart, which is really nice. Next, we gotta start making the quad on the top, which is gonna be the blue circuit. So that's gonna go here, here, and that's it. And then we also need dust, dust, dust. Smooth dust placing. And we don't need any updaters except for the middle one here. Next, we have to make our quad, because this is the only reason why this works. So what I suggest you do is you get any movable block. I'm not going to use obsidian because I want to use something amazing. What could I use here? I'm going to use, let's use campfires, because campfire, actually, yeah, Let's use campfires. Campfires are really cool to use. So you're gonna place a burnout right here. Now this is gonna burn out. Now this is gonna do kind of like a double piston extender-esque thing, but we still need this loop thing here. So we're gonna take an output from this, and then we're gonna have this has to be up. Now this is gonna be droppers and hoppers later, but we'll just do it how it is here. This actually has to be one lower. I'm an idiot. So the reason why this has to be up here and not one lower is because we need not dusted power like I just had, and then we're just having a simple monostable like this. Nothing. I was hearing weird sounds, but I didn't know it was this. So if you want to test this out, what you can do is just update the burnout. I actually did that wrong. You're not supposed to update the burnout like that. So just remove this. What you're supposed to do is just send a 1 tick into the top line. So you just place an observer here and just fire it. Now we still need to retract this upwards, but I don't think that actually matters because yeah, it does not matter. So that's gonna put these down to here. We're gonna have these rail things that are gonna get pushed in, and then we're gonna re-update this, and you can see this the whole retraction. That's really nice, and I want to thank Evan Boyd or Red60 for showing me how to make this. Because without him, I would have never thought of this, and I think Nakai made this. So the entire closing is now done. So I flip this, and you can see why this is here, because you can see that the burnout here powered, and when I unflip it, you can see obviously nothing happens because except for these retracting. That is because we need our top trigger, which is going to be the pink circuits. So reset all these, and that's what those dropper loops are for. But first, what we have to do is make the only thing that actually powers our top is this ceiling hipster. Now this is really smart, the ceiling hipster that I made. So we're gonna use armor stands to send up the ceiling hipster input. So the ceiling hipster is going to be, let's say it's going to be purple, because it's actually a really nice circuit on how I did it. So what you need is an armor stand. So you can just push these in using an old piston or a sticky piston. If you're using a sticky piston, you can just push it in using a 1 tick or a 0 tick, using a 0 tick. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to get a gold pressure plate. This is just for the sake of how this works. It's a really nice circuit that I came up with. So you have these 2 gold pressure plates, and then you're going to have 2 observers on top of each other, and then you're going to get out your purple. Now, so we need to, the ceiling hipster is right next to a quad piston extender, so that's why the quad is basically 2 blocks wide. So we're gonna have it like this, and then we're gonna have this, and this. We should also place our campfires back. Let's use sulfide. Let's use sulfide. Like that. So what we need is to power this one first, this one, then this. Or just do this times 2 without powering the piston in this position. Then when we do the whole thing again, like that. So you get the idea. The issue is that we can't use much of this space here because we need to be able to power it. Now, the way I do this is so smart. So we need purple. This is going to be this circuit. So now we also need any movable block. What a movable block are we going to use this time? I do. So let's see what we could use. Furnaces. I already used M4 frames a little while ago. Let's use lecterns, because why not? Because lecterns are the best movable block ever. So we need these here with 1 tick repeaters on them. They're very important that they're 1 tick. And then we need 2 observers here. Now we're almost done. This actually does the whole closing. You're probably wondering, how the heck does this do this? What is this? This is really smart. So, and it relies on these being immovable, as you can see here. So, the first thing that we do is we send a 1 tick. I'm just going to update this observer. This is a comparator, and comparators cannot accept 1 ticks from repeaters, only from torches. Or, I've seen it, they get accepted from fast observer clocks for whatever reason. But, you get the idea. So, this repeater will power this, but it won't power this. Now, this piston is being blocked. You see, this observer powers this, but this piston is being blocked by this, and these power in sync, so these will never power. We take an output from this, and they power this. Now, these would be extended, so even if these were still on, these would get blocked. So this would be like this. We fire this again because this armor stand will get a 1 tick pulse and then fall back down. But this time, because there's no immovable block or blocks inside this gap, this will then power. But because these are extending, you can actually fire this a tick after. Like this. And that actually does your whole closing, just by firing this thing twice. We do the same thing on the opening, but it's pretty much in reverse. We fire this, but because there's no movable blocks or any blocks in here, they will fire, and then this will pull up, and they will not retract. We fire it again, these will retract, and then these will just derp out. We fire a double piston extender. All we gotta do is just send a 4 tick into this, but they have to be in sync. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pretend this already did it. When we send a 4 tick, what happens is this top piston will get extended. So you can see, comparators are, because this is higher than a 2 tick, this 4 tick, it will accept it. So what will happen, this repeater will turn on, this comparator and this observer will fire at the same time, but this comparator is slightly faster by like a micro tick. That's just because of how they are. And as this is extended, this observer will update powering this. Now, you can already see, you're probably wondering, won't this power this? But it doesn't, because look, these will be in sync, okay, and they can't power because it's still immovable blocks. This will get a 1 tick, but the blocks are here, so it'll be like this. This will pull back up, and then this will get a 1 tick. But this will be extended. You probably think that this, when this goes off again, this would extend because of before. But because of the timing, this would just retract. So that has, so if I fire a 4 tick pulse, you will see what happens. Like that. So to get that 4 tick pulse, we have to make a dropper loop down here as a toggle. So let's start. So we have a dropper here, and then we have, we need delay for this, because we have to wait for, we need to wait for the top to actually, we need to wait for this to actually retract the blocks to this point. So that's what these 4 hoppers are for, and then to return the item back, we just have this. But we need a minecart here. So we're going to drop a minecart in, and then build that on the other side. And we're going to put, in the home dropper is this dropper. And like I said, one of the 3x3s, it was actually the second one, that one. This observer will power this one first, and then this one, a micro tick later, so the item will just go from here to here, and then back from here to the loop and back. So it acts as T flip-flop kind of thing, which is really cool. And next we have to build this on the other side. So drop her up. Now, I don't know if this side's any different. It doesn't look, actually, yeah, it's not. So we can go from here, and then back to here, and to this, and to here, and then a comparator. Like this. And then, just gonna use a quartz block here. You're gonna drop a minecart on top. This is the only thing we can't use. And then your home dropper is here. Like this. So, we now have our toggles to power the vortex at the top. We now want to take an output using a lamp, because we need a vortex, because we just need this to retract for a period of time, and then just extend it back, giving us a vortex. So there's no actual vortex repeater, it's just delay. Now, we just have this pattern, which reuses this block to send the vortex. So we're gonna place that one, do the same thing on this side. We need a lamp, a piston, this, and then the 3. Now, we need it like this, but you can see that this actually does an output for this side to power. So the way that we get so we need to fire this first. That's the first thing we need to do. So we need the quad control, which is going to be lime. So to do this is very simple, but there's no line block itself. So basically what we do is a cobweb timer, but we push into a fence, but there's no pressure plate because we can't power this piston, because remember that we have to fire this with a 1 tick. So to fire the quad, we need a cobweb, because the cobweb is useful for later, because we want to fire this twice, remember? So because we need to extend it down. So if you fire this door, you will see that I'm just gonna use a lever here, so I don't have to worry about the damage to him. You can see that we fired the quad twice. So that's the first one. Then we wait a while. Then we fire the second one. So to fire it twice, we use this cobweb timer. So it's gonna power the string in there. You can see ever so briefly. Okay, it's gonna power that once, and then when it retracts through the cobweb, it's gonna power it again. It's just we have to do the timings inside of it. So that does. So if we fire this thing here using this, well, obviously nothing's gonna happen because I blocked it off. So keep those blocked off. If we just do this, you see this with quad, then technically these would get pushed down. And there you go. So, by the way, the person who made technically this blue circuit is actually this guy here and that guy. In the first place, I said Evan Boyd just showed me how to do this. So we now are moving on to the last circuit. Even though I said this would technically be lime, it doesn't matter really. The observer, we're gonna move on to the best circuit in the door, which is actually gonna be the real lime circuit. So this is actually the quad here, this cobweb part of it. But it just was not in the right context. So you need a dropper hopper. This is a falling edge, and you can already see where we're going with this. We need to get an output to this thing down here. This will have a detector rail on it. This is how we get the signal across. As you can see, this is the reason why there are so many minecarts here. Because this minecart supports this minecart in the middle, but we need a minecart on top of it, so these pistons do not move it out of position. Otherwise, bad stuff happens. Now you can also do this on the other side. The other side's much worse. Well, it's better, because it's a big dropper toggle. So we do this, and we're going to put the minecarts in last. So I suggest you still put your campfires in, or immovable blocks here. I'm using soul-fired campfires. So we need to get lime out. We need as much delay as possible because we have to wait we need to wait for the squat to fully extend down, but we also have to wait for the derping burnout to stop. We need to wait for the burnout to completely stop, plus this to reset. So we need a decent amount of delay. And I figured that out, and this is where I actually redid this. So we have a 3 tick. And then we have a 4 tick. And then we have this dust. Then we have this, which goes down here. And then we see that we fire this with a 3 tick. And that does this half. We still need to do the other half, but the other half is amazing. And you can already see why. This is why. So, it relies on the bottom to help it as well, so we need lime it here as well. So this actually helps it. That's a little loop. Now I realize, never mind. So we need to basically make a dropper loop in such a way in where only on the second time the entire quad fires in the entire door. So that it fires once in the closing, twice on the opening. We only want it to fire on the second. The way we do this is we just make this dropper tower. So we're gonna start here. This is the home dropper down at the bottom here. So what happens is this dropper toggle will send, so here, this dropper loop here does not fire unless it's the opening. So this would just send 1, and there's no item in this loop, so it does not do anything. On the opening, this will put the item from here up into this dropper here. If it doesn't, it'll go from here to here, guaranteed. So if it goes from here all the way up here, then that's fine. But because this is a lamp, it will give 2 pulses going on and off, so it'll go up to here. So it'll be in this dropper, which is actually the correct state. We need as much droppers as possible, because we need as much states as possible, because we need as much delay, because we have to wait for the entire burnout to stop. So what we do is we have this thing here. So this is the start. So when this dust is here and the items in this dropper here, this dust will power this block here, this dropper, which buds this piston, meaning that the item will go, and because pistons are a microtick worth of delay to extend, or update rather, this will move the item from this dropper onto the piston to this dropper. And then, because this dust is on top, it's going to move the item from this dropper, the next time the burnout fires, to here. Then you get the idea. It will move the item to this dropper or fire both, but it will move it into here, and then basically it's just a long chain of events to get it to fire what it needs to do. So to send the item back, we need this loop down here. And remember to put an item in the spawn dropper, by the way. We need any container here. I'm using a dropper. I could actually place it like that. We need this, and we need a minecart in here. Chest minecart. So to drop this in, we're gonna just do this, and then point this hopper to that comparator. And this dropper can be anything, I'm just making it a dropper. So, if we test this, you will see, I'm going to make these barriers here. So I'm just going to grab some sort of barrier. So you can see that those will extend, unless there's some locationality or something. Which there probably might be with this loop here. So you might need some extra delay or something. So, the first thing we do when we put the lever, this goes down, it gets blocked on the bottom, and you can see the item is not moved because the item from here is now in there. When we fire this, when we unflip this, you'll see that the item is now here. And you can see those now power, and you can see the items now return to there, and you can see that it does not power. Now, this did not work because we didn't get that push down. So we now need to do that, which is the last thing, and then the door is done. And I've been recording this for about 30 minutes now. And so we need to get these minecarts in. Now, there's a way you have to position one of them. The other two don't matter, I believe. So we're going to start with this side because it's easier. So what you're basically just going to do is just remove all of the pistons except for the top row in this thing. So there you go. You can then start removing this. Okay. Now those can go back to blue. So we need a minecart. Well, technically these are wall blocks, but technically we can just remove all this. So if you look here, we need a minecart in between two blocks that's inside this block here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to roll a minecart inside here, but we need to get rid of this. So we can just roll a minecart in, and then remove the rail about now. We need to also remove this block. We're going to do the outside after. Now this depends on how you do the minecart. If you do the minecart wrong, then it will clip back down. So from my memory, I believe you do it like this. So you have to place it in like this. It's very important. If you place a detector rail, I did it the wrong way. Can I push this back? Okay. So you just saw what happened. Basically, it clipped back down. So basically, just clip back down. And we can't have that. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have this here, and then I'm just gonna detect a rail here because I'm lazy to get a real rail. And we drop this down. When we place this rail here, you can see that this is now on, but this minecart did not clip back down. That's because of the minecart's hitbox. When you push it forward, it will not clip down because the body of the actual the body of this minecart is not inside of it, it's over it, but it's just over it. But when you push it the other way, more of the body is over it, so it does clip down. And to make sure this minecart does not get pulled up by the pistons inside the stack, we just have to drop an extra cart. Like that. So those are your minecart placements for the left side. Now the right side is slightly harder because we have to deal with this, but it works pretty much in the same way. We need a block under here because we don't want that minecart to fall. Now that's an issue, so we're basically just gonna remove all this and redo it after. We're gonna roll this in. We're gonna push this into a fence this way. Just the detector rail back. Drop this down onto there, and then drop this on top. So to make sure you did this right, you can see this is on, and that's right. So now we have to place everything we just broke back. Now I'm probably gonna use World Edit for this, but I would use World Edit for this. If you don't have access to World Edit, so if you're on a Minecraft server and you're making this specific door, I suggest you have World Edit. If you don't have perms for World Edit, I'll show you what you can do to get everything back. But if you do have World Edit, I will show you that first. So you can skip to the time in the description if you don't want to see it, but yeah. So place this back. Your glass block. You need to push it away from this. So I'm just going. So what we need is to do this. We're just literally just dismantling this whole thing technically. Can this please go? Thank you. Get a carpet. And I hope I did this right because I gotta redo this card if I did it wrong. Please say I did this right. Thank you. So we have this 4 tick back in there. This is so we can then do this, and then we have to place this block back in. So this is where the world edit starts. You can stick to the time in the description of where you can just push this all in or whatever. So if you're using world edit in a world, what you can do is make this quartz have dust here, like this. Do /1, which is the command. You're gonna go from this top left dust to the bottom right quartz. You can see where my mouse is. You can see 16. That is the size of this block. You can do //move1. That will obviously fire the burnout because I moved it. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go from this piston to this piston, which you can see is a value of 4, and do //stack3. And you can now see you can then fill this top block in, but you can see you can't place these, so you have to world edit this in. So I just do it like this as a whole. //move1. And now you can see that would be the whole door done. So if you do have world edit, that's what you can do. I did something wrong. Oh, I see. So if you didn't place this dust in 3 ticker, I don't know if I'm missing something. Doesn't look like I'm missing something. It could just be hopper raging or something. But yeah, I have to redo these cards. Oh my god, I'm so not. Just skip. Okay, if you're still watching at this point, does this still work? Please say this still works. Oh my god, I have to redo these too. This just is really annoying. Oh my god, just skip. Okay, so if you saw the world edit, you get the idea. Just make sure you did everything right. Make sure you actually have this 3 tick repeater. Oh my god, this is just really annoying. This is just extremely annoying. I'm really mad because these cards are so annoying to place. Just do these 2 differently than I showed you earlier. So if you messed up earlier, push this in. I'm doing them both at once because but you get the idea. Do this. You have to push these into these. Like that. Like that. And then go up here. And then drop these. Okay, so if you're back at this point, you can 0 tick this in. You get the idea. Just in case there's hopper raging, I'm just gonna do this. So if you did do the world edit before, make sure you place this repeater back. By the way, there's also another door that's just like this as well that uses these rails, so that's gonna be later. So you're gonna place these quartz blocks here if you have world edit, but you understand what I did before, but yeah. You pretty much understand what I did before. Just do that. And if you didn't have this thing here, like me, then you could have just did what I had. But if you don't have world edit, this is where you cannot use it. If you don't have world edit, you can do this. So you just have to place a bunch of sticky pistons. So try not to move these minecarts, because you were gonna basically have a bad day. So you're gonna set this up like this, and then you're just gonna zero tick this in. These two middle ones you don't need to, but just do it. And then you're gonna do the same thing up here. So these two you don't need. And then you can do this. Just try the burnout, that's fine. To do the pistons above, this is gonna be like really bad. You're going to set 4 pistons up like this, and the way you're gonna know when you have to stop is you're gonna do these first. So these can just be placed normally. These you have to push in using a zero tick pulse from above, like this, like that. And you also need a line of dust here. To place these, you just have to aim at the top of this block, or on this block, like that, and that will place. To place these in, you're gonna do this. There's probably a better way to do this. There's really a much better way to do this, actually. But yeah, you saw what happened before. Okay, you get the idea. Basically, you just gotta push these in. Set the burnout. And at the bottom here, place any movable block, so you know when to stop. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna keep supplying blocks. I suggest use just a random block. And just keep pushing these in until you can't do anymore. So this is the worst. These are bad Minecart placements, as you can tell. And we just gotta push this in one more. And you can tell I can't push anymore. So then I can remove these dummy blocks. I can place this back. So yeah, that's how you do those. You can remove all this. I might have to make this an immovable block just in case. If this breaks again, I'm gonna be really mad. So, because it broke early and I don't trust myself, what I want you to do is just make this. You're gonna have 2 immovable blocks, a dust here. Never mind. If this breaks, I'm gonna be really mad. So you can just skip to the time in the description if it breaks for you. If it breaks for me. The second time. Please don't break on me. Well, obviously this is not like that, it's like this. And that's correct. Let me make sure the items. There's no item in here. I am confusion. Why is there no item in here? Fine. The item should still be in this button dropper. Yeah, I just didn't check. I checked the wrong one. Please work. Don't fail me. I'm gonna be mad over it. I don't know why that's not working. Oh my god, I forgot the updater, and I have to redo these minecarts here. Oh my god, I am so happy. This is just really annoying, as you can tell. So, just skip to the time in the description and stop watching me fail. Oh my god, I hate this door so much. It's one of the worst ones. I still have to make another one of these. It's even worse because there's like a massive dropper loop. But in the end, you will get there. If you remember the quote from the 3 with 3 flash door. Persevere, one can do anything, high, kind of thing. High. I'm gonna world edit this back in. So, I'm gonna be world editing these cards. I'm not answering that. Just watch. I'm trying to do stuff right now that remove this dust. This has to be pushed into an actual block. Push this in, and then drop another minecart on top. I'm gonna world edit this stuff back in because I'm lazy. If you're still at this point, yours should have already worked by now. If you actually connected this updater piston. Going to not place that yet. / stack 3. And then okay, and now just get immovable blocks. I'm just going to use drop dispensers so I can place this. Now your door should actually work. If you did this properly, actually if I did this, so that's actually a problem on my part. Okay, so if I did this correct and you skip to the time in the description, you get the idea of this. And there's also a missing hopper here, so that's also kind of obvious. So if we did this correctly, I'm missing a pressure plate. Usual that because I'm lazy. And I'm just gonna push this up. Please work. Thank the Lord. This actually works. That took so unnecessarily long. We did it. That is the duck door completed. Now we just have to decorate this stupid door to build. We're gonna start with the back and work our way to the front. Oh my god. This is like this. Those are with smooth red sandstone, and black concrete. We need the smooth red stairs here. We need to aim at the top left, top right, top right. And we want this. Like that. Choose met. So those are upside down. Like this. Those are stripped birch wood, like this, like this. Then the top has these birch here. Okay, and then this goes here, and then we need that's quartz blocks there and there. That is the entire door complete. This took literally 50 minutes to build. It could have literally been like about... Hopefully you guys enjoyed me being actually really painful, and enjoy the next little while of me failing. Goodbye.